Have you ever wondered what it truly means to fight for your family? It's a question that many of us face, but for one young boy, it wasn't a question. It was his reality. This is a story about love, sacrifice, and the unbreakable spirit of a family pushed to its limits. Imagine a small, cozy home, filled not with riches, but with the warmth of a mother's love. In this home lived a boy, his younger sister, and their incredible mom. She was their entire world, a superhero who didn't wear a cape. Instead, she wore the tired but determined expression of a woman working two jobs, day in and day out. Her mornings started before the sun was up, and her nights ended long after her children were asleep. Every ounce of her energy was poured into one simple, powerful dream to give her children a life better than her own. She wanted them to have opportunities she never had, to see a world beyond their small town, to chase their own dreams without the weight of financial struggle. The boy saw it all. He saw the weariness in her eyes, the way her shoulders slumped after a long day, but he also saw the unwavering love that fueled her. He and his sister were her why. He'd watch her pack his lunch, a small, handwritten note always tucked inside, reminding him to do his best. At night, she'd help his sister with her homework, her voice soft and patient, even when exhaustion was pulling at her. Those moments were precious, painting a picture of a mother who gave everything, holding nothing back. Life wasn't easy, but it was full. Their laughter echoed in the hallways, a testament to the love that held their little family together. The boy cherished these times, not yet knowing how fragile they were. The constant grind, however, takes its toll on even the strongest of heroes. The days turned into weeks, the weeks into months, and the relentless pace began to chip away at his mother's health. It started subtly, a cough that lingered, a paleness to her skin, a deeper exhaustion that sleep couldn't seem to fix. The family's pillar, the woman who seemed invincible, was starting to falter. One evening, she collapsed. The Dr. A.'s diagnosis was a heavy blow, severe exhaustion and a resulting illness that demanded complete rest. The two jobs that had sustained them were now impossible for her to continue. Suddenly, the world tilted on its axis. The laughter in their home was replaced by a heavy silence thick with worry. The medical bills started piling up, a mountain of paper that seemed to grow taller each day. The boy looked at his mother, so frail in her bed, and at his little sister, her eyes wide with a fear she didn't fully understand. In that moment, a profound shift happened within him. He was no longer just a boy. He was the man of the house. The weight of his family's future settled squarely on his young shoulders. He made a decision that would change the course of his life forever. School, once his top priority, now felt like a luxury he couldn't afford. With a heavy heart, he packed away his textbooks and walked away from the life he knew. His new classroom would be the world of work, his new lessons taught by hardship and responsibility. He found a job at a local diner, washing dishes and bussing tables. The work was grueling, his hands raw and his body aching by the end of each shift. But every dollar he earned was a small victory, a step towards keeping his family afloat. It was a harsh introduction to adulthood, but he faced it head-on. But the income from the diner was barely enough to cover Niehoff rent and the ever-growing medical expenses. Desperation became his unwelcome companion. He knew he had to do more. He started searching for other ways to earn money, and his search led him to the digital world. Late at night, when the city was quiet and his sister and mother were asleep, his second day would begin. Illuminated by the glow of a second-hand computer screen, he delved into the world of online work. He learned about freelance writing, data entry, and digital marketing, teaching himself the skills he needed to compete in this new arena. His life became a relentless cycle of work. The sun would rise and he'd go to the diner. The sun would set and he'd come home, not to rest, but to log on and work again. Sleep became a forgotten luxury. He survived on just 3 or 4 hours a night, his body running on pure adrenaline and an unyielding will to provide. There were nights when his eyelids felt like they were made of lead, when his mind screamed for rest. He'd look at a photo of his family, his mother's gentle smile and his sister's bright eyes, and it would be the fuel he needed to push through the exhaustion, to type one more sentence, to complete one more task. The world outside seemed to move on without him. He saw his old friends laughing, going to parties, living the carefree life of a teenager. A pang of longing would sometimes hit him, a quiet ache for the life he'd left behind. But then he would remember why he was doing this. He was fighting for his family. This wasn't just about survival. It was about love. Every sacrifice was an act of devotion. He was building a fortress of security around his mother and sister, one sleepless night at a time. The path was lonely and incredibly difficult, but he never once considered giving up. Failure was not an option. Slowly, painstakingly, his efforts began to bear fruit. A small online project turned into a bigger one. One satisfied client recommended him to another. His reputation for being reliable and hardworking started to grow. He was no longer just scraping by, he was starting to build something. The first time he was able to pay all the bills and still have money left over, a wave of relief so powerful washed over him that he almost cried. He could finally afford the best medicine for his mother, and her health began to improve. The color returned to her cheeks, and her smile, once weak and strained, began to shine brightly again. He saw the hope return to her eyes, and it was worth more than all the money in the world. He was able to buy his little sister a new dress, a small gift, but her joyful reaction made him feel like the richest man alive. The oppressive silence in their home was gradually replaced by the sound of hope, of quiet optimism. They were not just surviving anymore, they were starting to heal together. The boy, now a young man, had shouldered an immense burden and had not buckled. He had transformed their despair into a beacon of hope. Years passed. The sleepless nights and the grueling work were not just a temporary phase, they were the foundation upon which he built a new future. His small online endeavors grew into a successful business. He was able to move his family into a beautiful, comfortable house with a garden, a place where his mother could rest and his sister could play without a care in the world. He had done it. He had fulfilled his mother's dream for them, and in doing so, had discovered his own strength. He never forgot the lessons learned during those dark times. He never took a single moment for granted. He would often sit with his mother in the garden, watching the sunset, a comfortable silence between them. No words were needed. She knew the depth of his sacrifice, and he knew the depth of her love. He learned to be grateful for the simple things: a shared meal, his sister's laughter, the feeling of the sun on his face. His journey taught him that success isn't just about financial wealth, it's about resilience. It's about the strength you find when you're fighting for something bigger than yourself. It's about the profound, unbreakable bond of family. He had been to the brink and back, and he emerged not broken, but stronger, more compassionate, and eternally grateful for every single moment. His story is a powerful reminder that even in our toughest times, the love for our family can give us the strength to overcome any obstacle and build a life of meaning and purpose. Thank you so much for watching and sharing this journey with me. If this story touched your heart, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel for more content that aims to inspire. We'd love to have you as part of our community. Until next time, take care.